for the price. All of our fine jewelry begins with a vision by our in-house designers. Then, we ensure each piece meets our high-quality standards every step of the way, including the smallest details. It's why our jewelry comes with our all-inclusive, free lifetime warranty that covers everything and doesn't cost a dime. At Shane Company, there's no shortcuts, just craftsmanship. Because a friend wants your fine jewelry to be nothing short of perfect. Come see for yourself. Visit us in-store or at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
If you or someone you know needs help putting food on the table, that help is closer than you think. The Fan cares. We've partnered with local food banks and organizations to provide resources for those who need them. Just go to 1075thefan.com and look for the banner that says Find Free Food near you. You'll find a link to Community Compass with an up-to-date and interactive map that shows locations, days, and times for you to collect food at no cost, as well as other resources to help you through this challenging time. Find community help now at 1075thefan.com.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want to boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
BullseyeEventGroup.com, the Colts VIP tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration. Your Colts game day experience, the best it can be. Log on and get your passes now. BullseyeEventGroup.com.
From the DriveHubler.com studios, this is 93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
WIBC HD2, HD3, Indianapolis. The Pacers are home to face the New York Knicks Thursday evening at 6:30 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
And here we go.
You really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Hey, motherfucker. What you like to do? Oh, I don't know. Play chess. Screw. Well, let's play chess.
They give off to Jonathan Taylor. Jump cutting his way. Close to the goal line. He's in there. Touchdown. I-N-D-Y. Jonathan Taylor.
Wheeler finds Clark from the logo.
Here's Halliburton into the front court. Mishandled it, but gets a shot. Hits it. Hits it.
John, I have never been better to be on the air with you here in Indianapolis, a place where so many of my dreams have come true.
The Ride with JMV on 93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
Backing to throw is Darnold. This is 3rd and 8. Here comes pressure by the Colts, and they bury him. It's a sack by Indianapolis inside the 10, back to the 9-yard line. It's a loss of 8. 3rd down sack, a first wave demolished on Sam Darnold. 2-by-2 formation for Rivers. Looking over that defense, 4 on the play clock. Takes a step, 3-step drop, looking, throws inside the 5, touchdown for the Colts, and it's Josh Downs across the goal line. Touchdown, I-N-D-Y. And the Colts now are on top 12-3. Jason Myers on for the 5th time today. This will be a 30-yard field goal, and this would give Seattle the lead. They trail 13-12. Michael Dixon to put it down. There's the hold. Kick is up, and it's good. Snap, looks, throws down the left sideline, back shoulder, and it's caught! Caught over there on the right sideline, and that is Alec Pierce. What a contested grab by Alec Pierce. Draped in coverage, he caught it to the 49-yard line of Seattle. The Colts trail by 2, and Blake Grupe is on for a 60-yard field goal. He's got the leg for it. If he can make it, as we said, this would be a new career long for him. His career long prior to this kick is 57. This one from 60 as Rigoberto Sanchez is prepared to put this ball down at the 50-yard line coming up from the right hash. Snap, placement, kick on the way. Headed downfield for the uprights. It's... Wow! Whoa! Colts on top by 1, 16 to 15. 47 seconds to go. A 60-yard field goal in Seattle. Are you kidding me? So this is going to be a 56-yard field goal. Let's see if the Colts show any gamesmanship and call a timeout. This is going to come from the left hash. Myers, snap, gets into it, sends it downfield. Headed for the uprights, and it's going. Ball at the 30-yard line, 11 seconds to go. Rivers has the ball on the right hash, 3 receivers go left. The Colts trail 18 to 16. Rivers backs the pass, chucks it downfield, and it's an overthrow intercepted by Seattle. Final score today on the Ruoff Mortgage scoreboard. It's Seattle 18 and the Indianapolis Colts 16.
Matt Taylor and Charles Arbuckle of the Colts Radio Network. That's how it sounded yesterday, and close does not count, and we know that, and especially with a team that's lost 4 straight, a team that had such a tremendous start that now is 8-6 and on the verge of completely falling out and having to do some major, incredible things here in the final 3 to get into the postseason. Simply put, that's not how it's supposed to be. I get the situation that you're in, but I know Colts fans, this doesn't make you feel any better. I'm not going to sit here and tell you for the next 3 hours it should make you feel any better. There are moments yesterday when you thought, all right. And I'm not necessarily at all talking about Phillip Rivers. I'm talking about an offense and a defense that they've been major parts of the slide and the issue. And both lines played much better. Defensively, in the secondary, you had moments from Edwards. Zaire Franklin gave you a couple of moments. I even wiped my eyes, and there was actually quarterback pressure and stuff like that. Yeah, the offensive line was doing some work, as best they could to protect more than likely the most immobile human being that may have ever played that position in the NFL yesterday. And I'm not going to sit here and bag on Phillip Rivers all day, but the problem remains at that position, you have to be a threat downfield. And Seattle simply, as Jake and I were talking about in the crossover brought to you by Love, Heating, and Air, they simply adjusted and really scaled things down. You had 2 plays, over 15 yards, and one was that 16-yarder that kept that final drive, not the drive where Rivers threw the Hail Mary and it was caught and the game was over, but what led to the groupie 60-yard field goal. I can't imagine a coach, and I guess you have to. Do you say you feel comfortable? I can't imagine a coach that not once but twice this year has played for 60-plus yard field goals, and it's actually worked out. It didn't work out yesterday in the end because you had a bad kickoff, and the defense let them go right down the field. 30 seconds or less? That simply put, it can't happen. And what I'm trying to tell you is when your quarterback is not able to do what that position describes, and one is go down the field. When you have to box yourself in to the category like that, you have to be as good. I'm not going to suggest being perfect, because Seattle wasn't good enough yesterday for you to have to be perfect. Seattle wasn't good enough yesterday where they should have been beaten. If you could do anything down the field, any type of threat, anything that would take that defense of the Seahawks out of their comfort zone more than once, then you had a serious opportunity, or maybe even better than that, from 60 yards, you knock that thing home. you get a decent kick, which they didn't. You play some decent D, which you had done throughout the game, and then for whatever reason, with Lou Anarumo and company, you just let them go down the field at their leisure, it felt. Maybe not at their leisure, but it went down the field as quickly as possible. So when everybody tells me, and they did this morning and last night, that, hey, that was feel good, a 44-year-old guy. And yeah, for a 44-year-old guy that hasn't played in 5 years, you will he did not completely cost you the game. Like, he didn't throw away 3 times or give it away a couple of different times, but he was unfortunately costly in a different manner because he does not allow you to do what needs to be done. And he doesn't allow you to be you, which at this point in time is probably not the greatest way to describe it, but he doesn't allow you to be that. And I like him. I wanted the story to end better. There were moments when I thought the story was going to end better, but the problem that you have now, if you're Shane Steichen and you're this group, is that you've kind of emptied the container. How else do you go out and try to play this now against a defense that is going to have this week up until Monday night to prepare for a team? And as we witnessed, how much is going to be able to change here? So in the battery of people last night, they were sending me things. Most commonly because you did not learn until today about Anthony Richardson, being cleared medically for his return. I don't really know what that means. I would guess, since he was the backup quarterback, that means when he's medically cleared at some point later on this week, he's going to be deemed ready to play. But so many people last night had talked about Riley Leonard, and Riley Leonard could have saved him. I don't know if Riley Leonard would have saved them, and I don't know how much more of a threat down the field he might be. But you have to have now, certainly, against the Niners, more offensively than was provided with that quarterback yesterday, even in the field good. And I'm not at all trying to blame that game on him. That game came down to moments. And then a late game possession to where if you could get a stop. And believe me, that defense had been surprisingly good the entire way. The offensive line to protect Phillip Rivers would take a lot. I'm going to tell you this. Jalen Travis, they found their right tackle for me of the future. That's one thing that I believe. I know you're going off of one game, and you're right. But I didn't have a problem with him at right tackle whatsoever. Anybody else? And I don't know about you guys. With all due respect to Bernard Ryman, I didn't really notice when Tenuta came in. Now, I will tell you, it seemed like the offensive line had a pretty good grasp the entirety of the game. So they were just simply playing well, I guess, as a unit. Bortolini had a couple of moments where the door was open and the outcome wasn't good. But you would have won that game if there were a couple of different, if you had the challenge, if the Seahawks secondary had to play this with any thought in their mind that you could get something going down the field, then maybe another touchdown. Because the Colts did hang in, and the Colts did do some things that they had not done, even when Daniel Jones was compromised, and actually prior to. This thing is being an ongoing fade going all the way back to Pittsburgh. So it's not all of a sudden now, oh, crap, the injuries, and this is all coming unraveled. No. It was unraveling before the injuries. It was unraveling before your quarterback was done for the season. I thought yesterday there were moments between the offense and the defense and what Shane Steichen was doing. Did anybody else find themselves in a situation wondering why you couldn't have handled that against lesser defenses, mind you? But you couldn't have handled that a little bit differently when Daniel Jones was out there. And I'm sure ultimately at some point in time, the Achilles was going to give out. But anybody else find themselves wondering why you couldn't handle that just a little bit differently when Daniel Jones was there? Maybe something could have been different. Yeah, unfortunately, it was an interesting game. They kept themselves in it. But for this team, as I mentioned once again, that is not enough. This is a team that's gone for it. This is a team, and I'm sick and tired of these analogies, like you guys are sick and tired of these analogies, pushed all the chips in. So when you say, like I get this all the time, well, they should tank and be done. What are you tanking? They've won 8 games. What the hell are you talking about? And really, what you tried to do yesterday is what you need to try to do in these final 3 games. And you weren't worthy of it yesterday. But what I'm talking about is you try to find a way to get it done by whatever means necessary. So last night, when I'm answering questions, and people are mostly pissy after games like that. And, you know, the way that it is, if you offer up an opinion, you're going to have probably 90% agree with you, and then 10% are going to say, well, all you are would be a hater, and you're a jackass, and you get all that stuff. Because I had mentioned, and this was my thought even before Shane Steichen came out today and reaffirmed that Phillip Rivers was going to be the starter against the Niners on Monday night. Because all along you knew that was going to be the case. So in my little tiny brain, I cobbled together an idea last night. And I know that this is Johnny high school crap, but we live in the world of Johnny high school crap. Like, we're mired in Johnny high school. What the hell does it matter? It wouldn't have mattered if 44-year-old Phillip Rivers would have won in Seattle yesterday. So why the hell? You're searching for any way to be positive, any way to win by any means necessary. I don't care if it's Rivers or Richardson or Riley Leonard or Brett Rippon or Tyler Warren or Matt Taylor or Charles Arbuckle or Casey Valier or my dumbass. It doesn't matter, because you are neck deep with this team in it right now. There is not any waving of the white flag and, hey, let's trade for this guy. Let's go out and do that and draft that. No, this is your guy. You show a team picture, and a lot of these dudes on it are going to be the same dudes that are a part of it next year. With a quarterback that you're going to bring back that's going to be rehabbing, with 2 quarterbacks that are still under contract, and then a 44-year-old quarterback that's going to go back and coach high school football in Fairhope, Alabama. That's how that's going to look next year. And that's what we've talked about. And a lot of you get mad and you shake your fist like I shouldn't say get into it. That's the wrong thing to say, because I'm far from wanting to get into it with anybody. But everybody wants to bring up the whole dynamic of Steichen and of Ballard. And somebody had just simply asked me, so do you think they're back next year? Now, this is not my opinion is that they are. My thought has been for a while that it's time to reset. The problem that you have is when you did what you did at the trade deadline, when somebody says you got to tear it down to the studs, how do you do that? Because this is not just a year to turn around, not just 2 years to turn around. I mean, it is going to add even more service time to what we have witnessed in the past 9, or for the most part in the past 9. So when you ask me right now if I believe both general manager and head coach will return, I do, because my thought was back at the trade deadline when the general manager was allowed to do that, with the 2 first-rounders for Sauce Gardner, that stamped the approval that this regime was going to return. Now, I will leave this open for debate. If you lose out Say, for example, all the goodwill is sucked out of the room at Lumen Field yesterday in Seattle, and this thing goes completely, even more embarrassingly down the toilet. Then, maybe you go, all right, I'm done with it just because we